going. His car owner now alongside Jan Beekes in the pits.
That's right, Gary. Tom Goy owns that car, and you've had nothing but trouble earlier in the weekend, but now it looks like it's coming good after that trouble.
Yeah, it hasn't been a real smooth weekend, Jan. We've had some engine problems and some gearbox problems. Ron's done a super job. I think we just happened to hit the right combination in the one lap of qualifying that we got, and it's showing right now. Ron's still got some in reserve, so this could be interesting.
Thank you, Tom. Gary?
Well, indeed, Ron Fellows, who won at Lime Rock, has had kind of an up-and-down type of season. He feels that he can be a race contender at every venue, and he has shown his muscle here today. The field up front averaging just over 104 miles per hour. Every once in a while, Derek, you get the feeling that Pickett opens up an extra car length there, but he can't really escape from anybody thus far.
He can't quite pull away. We see the gap now pretty even, but I think Jack Baldwin is looking behind him more so than he's looking ahead of him. I don't believe he thinks he has the speed to challenge Pickett again for the lead right now. So he's more concerned with that blue Ford and Mackenzie Mustang that's looming larger in his mirrors, particularly under braking.
Camaros run 1 and 2. It's a Mustang that races third, and a Camaro in the number 4 spot, and for that matter in the number 5 position, or number 5 position. Remember, Chevrolet with a top 6 finish today will clinch the manufacturer's championship for 1992. Derek, it's interesting to look back to this race a year ago, because Scott Sharp clinched the individual driving championship with a win here last year. He led the opening stages of the race, then backed off the pace, came on late, and led the final 6 laps for the win. And you were mentioning, you wonder if he's protecting his tires, and you wonder how much that will come into play before this one is over.
Well, Scott Sharp seems to be the type of driver that's mechanically sympathetic. What I mean by that is he's able to protect his engine, gearbox, and particularly his tires. And many, many times we have seen Scott Sharp drop back. He let half the race go by while he burns some fuel off, maybe lets things settle down, and then suddenly he comes on strong again. And we have seen him win races that way in the past.
Walter Payton in the Bud car, number 34, makes a move past Deborah Gregg to take over a spot. He has moved up now to 11th on the grid. Payton, of course, that number 34, that's the famous jersey number that he wore for so many great years with the Chicago Bears as an NFL star, and he is really starting to find his way now in Trans Am racing. He has become much stronger as this season has moved on, and now in the 9th stop of the 11-race tour, he has moved up challenging for the top 10. He's 45 seconds behind this leading group, however, and it continues to be a 5-car group led by Greg Pickett. Oh, we've got a car, Bartelt, who's off the course. Bartelt has caught the marbles, and boy, you get the rear wheels in there, and he may have a tough time getting out. That's pea gravel in there, and he can spin. You can see that it's working on both sides now. Now digs his way clear. He will get back on course, but that's his second off-course excursion today. But Phil is managing able to keep it going here, even though he's well back in the pack.
And lucky to get away with that, because if that car had gone any further into that gravel, it's designed to actually absorb the energy and stop the car and hold it. It's very hard to get out. Luckily, he didn't get in too deep. We're back with Deborah Gregg.
This is a race for 12th place. Mark Peelsticker in the black number 99, right behind Deborah Gregg. Deborah, who's had a couple of strong finishes herself this year, struggling a bit today in the number 2 car. She was 4th earlier this season at Des Moines, trying to bounce back from a 21st place finish in Quebec in the last race. And right now, this is the race for 12th, featuring Greg and Mark Peelsticker. Peelsticker in the black number 99.
And I spoke to Deborah right after practice. She was reasonably happy, but she just feels she's not able to get consistently enough track time to really hone what she believes is the ultimate out of herself and the car. However, she's still having a reasonably good race, and miles make it the man. So the more laps she can do, the more track time she'll get here. Oh, look at Fellows again. We got to keep a real close eye on him.
Right there, isn't he? He is right off that back bumper. Every once in a while, he kind of pokes his nose down in there to make sure that he really fills up Baldwin's mirrors. But this is the kind of racing we have seen right down to the checkered flag, event after event this year. In fact, the last 2 races have been won by Baldwin on the very last lap. Well, he's in position for similar heroics today. Pickett's got other ideas, however, as he leads the 5-car procession.
And of course, Ron Fellows has to be aware that Scott Sharp is absolutely right behind him, so he can't make a mistake either.
Pickett is your leader. Baldwin continues to run. Who had been leading the competition in car number 6 suddenly slows and pulls off the paved racing surface. What a heartbreaking moment for Greg Pickett. Designs of winning again after winning here in 1978, had muscled his way from the second row into the lead early, but now his day appears to be complete. Baldwin, your new leader. Fellows now runs second. Sharp is third. Robinson is fourth. And what had been a 5-car battle is suddenly reduced to 4 contenders. What a disappointment this has to be for the veteran driver and former Trans Am champion Greg Pickett.
Really terrible disappointment, because it's not very often you get a car as good as he had for a race situation. He really had control of this situation. But, however, the ball game now is totally changed, because Jack Baldwin, and we said it in the opening might be good if he could win this, but Ron Fellows now knows one pass and he could be leading this.
Let's go to the pits and this update from Jan Beekes.
Well, Gary, the reason we lost Greg Pickett, our leader, the engine is gone. That's all he said over the radio. He pulled off the course. Another engine, another car out of the race.
And now a challenge for second place. Sharp takes a look on Fellows. Can't get it done. Fellows, who had led early, right in the middle of the sandwich now of the teammates. Remember, it's Baldwin who leads by 7 points over Sharp, and Sharp needs to get back up there in a contending spot. He looked like he had an opportunity, couldn't quite get it done on that particular corner.
And this is not what Ron Fellows needs. He needs to concentrate on catching Jack Baldwin. If he has to drive defensively by moving over to try and stop Scott Sharp, then Baldwin can keep creeping away.
Baldwin won the pole at an average of better than 108 miles per hour. The race average closing up on 105 miles per hour at this stage. And now these three have opened up a bit of breathing room over Robinson in the 74 car. He's dropped a few lengths back, still there, however, in 4th place.
And we mentioned it earlier, Scott Sharp is very good at saving his car, and it's from the second half of the race on that he gets strong. So it's interesting that Sharp now looks as if he's beginning to put a challenge on Ron Fellows, but saving his car, particularly his tires, is what Scott Sharp is good at. But Fellows is not losing anything to Baldwin. Looking under braking right under the rear bumper of that Chevrolet.
And Fellows is the man who's made up the most ground today. Remember, he started in the 4th row, the number 8 spot. He currently runs second. He did lead briefly, and right now he is trying all the tricks to get by Jack Baldwin. And Baldwin, who so desperately wants a Trans Am championship for 1992, doing everything he can to hold off the challenges. And if either one of them bobbles, Sharp in position to pounce.
And a pressure-packed situation for Jack Baldwin, leading the race, a race that could bring him the coveted Trans Am championship. And now Ron Fellows in a Ford Mustang is absolutely all over him, putting the pressure on all the time. Difficult situation for a driver. You cannot make a mistake, because you can lose everything. But Fellows knows he's got to push him all the way, and hopefully try and pressure him into a mistake.
Great speed shots down through the kink. We've been talking about the importance of saving tires. Let's talk about tire compounds with Jan Beekes in the pit.
Gary, in the SCCA Trans Am here, they have to make those tire declarations. You'll look here, this says 430. That is what the front 3